Welcome everybody to another tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you how to draw anime eyes. This is pretty much beginner guide, so yeah, TK here. Let's get right into it. So, first thing first, let's talk line art. In general, when you're just starting out in art, you don't really need to worry yourself that much about the shapes of your eye, but in general, those two shapes are going to be your go-to. Like those are the standard ones, about a half a circle for men's size and about a full one or almost a full one for female eyes. Now this is pretty basic stuff, so yeah, that's gonna be it for the line art. The coloring is pretty straightforward, just apply your base colors onto it. And yeah, let's start talking shading. Now, for the sake of the tutorial, I'm gonna be keeping it pretty simple. Two layers for every coloring part. So yeah, first thing first, I like to start with the whites of the eye. I go with a dark reddish color around the whole thing. After that, I just use the blur tool to blur the edges. And of course, I lowered the opacity quite a bit. Now, I want it to be barely noticeable. So yeah, with the first layer out of the way, let's add a new one. And what we're gonna be doing here, we're gonna be just applying a very dark red or close to black if you want. We just barely go with it, just barely. And yeah, we're gonna be doing the same, we're gonna be blurring it out, just like so, lowering the opacity if you want. And yeah, with the whites of the eye out of the way, let's talk about the iris. Now, here we're going to be using two layers as well. What I like to do, I like to start from the up to bottom part, from the darkest to lightest. So the darkest layer is going to be either black or really dark version of your color of choosing. Now I decided to go with the really dark version of the color, but it's almost indistinguishable. So how far should you go? I would suggest about a fifth of the eye, no more, no less, just to be noticeable. After that, of course, we're gonna be blurring it out, like so. And yeah, time for the new layer. Now we're gonna be putting it underneath this one, so keep that in mind. And what we're gonna be deciding is a color variety between our darkest and our lightest color, so somewhere in between. In our case it's gonna be darker blue. So what we're gonna be doing, we're gonna be coloring about half of the eye with that, and you can notice that I just slightly go over the edges of the eye. That will later on give the glassiness of the eye itself. It's gonna give that effect. So yeah, blur that out as well. And yeah, the shading of the eye is pretty much done. Now what we can start doing is coloring the skin around the eye itself. Now your main points where you're gonna be shadowing or shading is gonna be over the eye, under the eye, in the area where the eyebrow and the nose meet. And yeah, that's the main things where you're gonna be shading. Now what I like to do is use two layers here as well, and it's gonna be very slightish red color, like go big around the areas. Like with this one you don't really have to be that contained, you can go a bit further, just cover the whole around it. You can go a bit further down the nose with this one, like it's just gonna be adding the depth. It's not gonna be very shadowing. That's for the second layer though. So yeah, when you're done with the first one, go for the second layer. Go choose a very darkish color of the skin, like a very dark one, and go slightly with it. Just don't take it out too much, just go slightly around the borderline of the line art itself, just like that. And yeah, overall the shading is gonna be pretty much done. It's just time to add some more details to the eye. What we're gonna be adding is gonna be the white of the eye itself. Now, what is this? Well, it's basically like the way to show that the eye is reflecting light. So we're gonna be adding one to the pupil, and since it's an anime eye, we're just gonna be um, adding one to the iris itself from the outer line. And yeah, that's gonna be for the lighting effect. Now, to be precise, you don't really need to do this part, but I just like it, so it's make it a bit more vibrant. So what I do, I just go around with white lines. This is just to offset the colors a bit. And after I go around the whole eye like that, I just add some white dots. And yeah, overall, that's gonna be it for this one, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked, make sure you like, subscribe, and even comment if you have anything you want to be covered. And yeah, see you in the next one. Peace.